think it's delusion, to be honest. But then again, we'll see, because he only really called my name. Once his jaw was broke, he went, I've got a broken jaw, but I want Sonny Ed. What?
Pro boxing fans here in Sheffield with the champ, Sonny Edwards. Sonny, we're in the Steel City gym. First time I've been about. Nice little gym. Obviously a lot of media here for your first fight with Eddie Hearn, with Matchroom. How's things? How's life?
Yeah, it's a nice little gym, ain't it? It's a nice little gym. Yeah, life's good. Life's what it should be. I've got 2 healthy and beautiful kids running around in the background. Got a lot of money in the bank and some bright career prospects. So what can I complain about, genuinely?
100%. Let's talk about why we're here. Obviously, first of all, I am going to allude to the fact that you've signed with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. It's been a little while now, but do you want to talk about that? There was a lot of flirting going on. So at one point before that, there was talks about maybe you and Bam Bam, or one of the fighters. Nothing happened for a long time. We were waiting for Sonny Edwards to return back to the ring, and then all of a sudden he signed with Eddie. How was that time? Because I know you was really frustrated with all the negotiations that were going on and nothing was paying off.
It wasn't really frustration in negotiations. At first I was getting frozen out, but as a threat from a rival company, I understood it. But obviously sometimes you got to tease the girl to get the girl, you know what I mean? You got to get their attention. So with Eddie, I might have ruffled his feathers, apologised, came back from it, and then before you know it, a line of direct conversation and communication about making these fights, and the negotiations is online. So that transpired. I knew the interest was there through the making of, or trying to make, the Martinez fight, that Eddie, Matchroom, DAZN were interested in signing me and being involved in my career outside of just having me as an opponent. But to be fair to Eddie, he was willing also just to have me as an opponent. So I think once I really seen that, it became, a good, not a good idea, because Eddie's always been, since I've turned pro, has always been the prime time UK boxing promoter, right? And I was with Uncle Frank, and Frank's a legend in the game, bear in mind. Like, you see the book? Frank wrote it, you know what I mean? Like, Frank's a legend, and what he did for my career, very appreciative. And the relationship me and Frank Warren and the rest of Queensbury have has always been a great one. There's never been a fallout, there's never been bickering back and forth. But just as each promoter and each manager and each whoever, coach, trainer, whatever, they will go through their career doing kind of what's best for them. I don't like to burn bridges for no reason. I don't like spitting out my, throwing the toys out the pram for no reason, etc. But when I've come to the end of my negotiated contract, and I believe maybe for me a different direction is better because of these reasons, I don't mind standing on those reasons. If it offends or upsets someone that's in business, then it shouldn't, because the times that I was getting no TV slots, the times that I weren't getting mentioned, or the times that I weren't getting no anything really, no promotion, no push, I never took it personally. I took it upon myself to do better, be better, and get better. Put myself out there more, do that little extra, and keep working on my craft to make sure that by winning, regardless of how I do it, by winning and winning clearly, that eventually I got to the point of leverage where I'm the #1 in the world, I'm holding a world title, and all of the unifications laid out in front of me, and I've done a very good job at somehow dropping myself with loads of storylines. I'm always there, I'm always involved, I'm always speaking about it, because I genuinely love boxing. So the moment I get paid and I get out of the ring, my first response isn't go on 5 holidays and stay as far away from a boxing gym as possible. I'm usually sparring the next week or a week later, because Grant normally won't let me spar the week after a fight. And I'm at the shows, I'm in the corners now of the other fighters, like weeks after my fight. So boxing's my heart, boxing's my passion, so I can see where I need to go to do the best of my boxing career because I'm a fan, because I read and try to understand the business. I've got to the point where I genuinely believe, and there's, proof in ratings and rankings, that I am the best in the world at what I do at my weight, and all the other fighters that have a question mark next to them are with DAZN, are with Eddie Hearn, are with Matchroom. And yeah, I genuinely believe that with how I approach my boxing career, I'll become Eddie's favourite regardless, because there isn't many fighters that he could ring 7 weeks out of a fight and get them to defend their world title when they've just signed them. get him cancelling holidays that it was going on in 12 hours to go and fight. I was meant to be landing on a beach in Portugal on the Monday, and I was in the gym sparring Chris Bork instead. You know what I mean? So there's not many fighters like me. There's very, very, very few fighters like me, I'd suppose. So yeah, I think it's a match made in heaven. I want the big fights. I can't be fed to the wolves, so I've never got to worry about, oh no, Eddie's giving me a too hard of a fight. You know what I mean? If anything, we're scratching our heads trying to figure out how we're going to convince these hard fights into the ring with me. It's crazy.
One thing I'm going to say about you, Sonny, you're very confident in everything you do. Every time I've spoken to you just now, you know, I can feel the confidence coming off you. Your social media, you're confident in everything you say. And I'll give you an example of that. Looking through your tweets on Saturday night, you were talking about the Conlan fight, and you called sort of the stoppage that from the first round. You said, listen, this is going to go the way it was going to go previously. But you're just very confident, even in your punditry when you did stuff for BT. Just confident. You seem to ooze a lot of confidence. Is that something you've just built up? Is that something you've naturally had?
It's probably a mix of things. One being how I see my dad be as well growing up. But you know, once I've really got the understanding that your life, your reality is just your mind and the conversation you have with yourself. No one's presence in front of me, online especially, in the ring, outside of the ring, no one's presence makes me feel intimidated, makes me feel afraid, makes me feel like I'm out of control of the situation. I'm very good at reading and reacting and reading the room. Like very good at dealing with people. I can see in someone's eyes when they're lying to me. I can see when they're coming and they're disguising what their intentions are. Like, I'm very, very good. So I can just sit there, observe and react. I react to the world. You see me on Twitter because I'm reacting to something. That's why I quote tweet everything, so you can see I said this because of this. You know what I mean? I try and make it as clear and stand out as possible. But yeah, confidence is built up over maybe years, but at the same time, not allowing no one to ever make me feel any less or more about myself. I don't get anything from external validation. You know, the positive don't get to my head and the negative don't get to my heart. I am who I am, and I understand that not only am I existing in a sport that I love, but it's an entertainment business. Like, people don't just want to see people that they like, and they don't just want to see people that I had a really good camp. No, yeah, it's been the best. Like, yeah, maybe I go off a little bit. Maybe I antagonize people a little bit, in my opinion, or maybe.
But do you like that though? Do you like that part of the game?
If I'm doing it intentionally, but sometimes if I just read something, like, okay, we're talking about the Michael Conlan one in specific. I like Michael Conlan. I got no ill towards him. I wanted him to win the fight. But when he comes out within the first 3 minutes and boxes like that, I could categorically say he's not going to win the fight now, but just because he hasn't learned his lesson from the Lee Wood fight. Very, very good boxer. Burns his engine. Maybe because he hasn't got one, but maybe because he just puts too much effort into the rounds, when really you need to have 36 minutes in you. You're not an amateur no more. You can't just come out and throw a million punches and every bit of power you've got and try and blow everyone out, because 9 times out of 10 you get to any sort of level, the fight's a guy in the distance, unless you just catch him. You know what I mean? And usually it's not the force in it that catches him. So yeah, I was disappointed for Conlan, but I could see it. Like, I could generally see it. I feel like I am quite good at reading boxing, and that's why I don't mind speaking my opinion. And if anyone genuinely disagrees, I try not to be disrespectful, but me saying someone I think is going to win or lose, if they take that with disrespect, then they got a fragile ego. Like, anyone can pick a fighter against me, and I've seen it countless. Like, I don't mind proving someone wrong. And I might have a little buzz with them after, but I won't take it to offence or take it to heart, or then my identity is falling apart because one boxing pundit thinks I'm going to lose a fight. Like, what? It just is what it is. I'm here enjoying myself, like, every day. Every day my life's good.
It must be good when yesterday you get tweets from someone like Tony Bellew, who's tweeted, one of the most gifted fighters our country has produced in decades. The boy has a lot and is probably one of the most avoided fighters in the world due to his impossible style. I'm looking forward to seeing him shine in future fights against the division's elite. # Sonny Edwards. Must be good to see former fighters, pundits just praising you.
Team Matchroom. Nah, in all seriousness though, what a lot of people don't understand is Tony Bellew, how long ago was this? 9 years ago, when I was in the ABA finals in Echo Arena, see me jump in the ring. I thought I won. A lot of people thought I won, but it was a very nothing close fight. Got out the loser. He saw me not disrespectfully storm off, but head a beeline straight to the changing room, not collect my medal and get a picture with Tony Bellew whilst my opponent is getting the belt awarded to him by Tony Bellew. Like, he's seen that, he remembers that. So he probably also sees, that kid that lost in his second year of the ABAs after he won it the first time against a kid younger than him. Look how he's come full circle. So he'll remember that, and I remember it. I still feel bad that I kind of just shunned Tony Bellew and just walked off, like, didn't even get my medal. Like, how disrespectful of me. Who do I think I am, really? I was just a bad loser, man. Not a bad loser because I can lose. I just hate it, you know. Like, I hate it. I take it to me. I don't try and outward project. I went and congratulated the kid after in front of his family and went up to his section of the crowd and, you know, shook his hand, had a little word with him. Like, I can lose, innit? I just don't like it.
The world's elite athletes are very bad losers. Up at Cristiano Ronaldo. Anytime he's lost a game, he is a sore loser. I think that's just with sort of the elites of the world. Let's talk about your fights. Obviously, you're fighting Campos. I've seen the interview with Boxing King, and you've said, listen, certain criteria we've had to make. Couldn't really get many opponents. Campos was the one good level opponent. But I want to talk about the main two guys that you've been linked to, the fights that look like they're going to make sense. You said it at the start of this interview. Eddie's got the fighters. Bam Bam and Martinez, what is the ideal route for you?
Ideally, I don't care. The only thing I've genuinely said is don't let them fight each other first. Okay. Don't let them cut me out again. Don't let them start unifying outside of me. I'm here now. If I had my way, it would be whichever way it comes, but most likely would probably be Bam Rodriguez, then Martinez, and then maybe Dalakayan. I would rather them 1, 2, 3. I'd rather have the 3 fights. I'll be real. I'd rather go collect. But I think I'm going to beat them all. Genuinely, I don't think one of them has a chance to beat me. That's the funniest thing. When everyone talks about Bam Rodriguez, I don't think he has one chance to beat me. It's kind of like, to me, it's kind of, I don't want to say laughable because that's very disrespectful because he's a good fighter. To me, the fact that you're genuinely saying all you need to do now to be seen as this big, great fighter is beat a 23-year-old. It blows my mind. Alvarado's better than him, and I think. Mariti's better than him, I think. He's not even that good at coming forward. He struggled his last 2 fights. When someone's at about 30% of the pace that I can do it and reacts to that I can do it, he struggled, and it kind of blows my mind. Like, yeah, he's very good when someone sits in front of him and he taps, adjusts and throws, taps, adjusts and throws. But he's versing people at the end of their career that have had lumps punched out of them. Like, for me, he's a good fighter, not a great fighter. For me, Martinez is probably a harder fight because there's more danger. I don't think Bam really hits that hard. I think he was able to hit certain old fighters a lot with his style, and it worked for him. Then it kind of changed and people started edging back from him. And he looked average for me personally. And if you're telling me I've just got to beat Bam Rodriguez and Martinez to be considered like a great fighter, fucking hell. You might as well call me a great fighter now. Genuinely, I believe that as well. Martinez, I think I beat easy. I don't think he really lays a glove on me too much. I think he knows that. That's why he's asking for $1 million to fight me. Bam, I think, has a bit more confidence, but I think it's delusion, to be honest. But then again, we'll see, because he only really called my name. Once his jaw was broke, he went, I've got a broken jaw, but I want Sonny Ed. What? Well, you ain't going to fight me next. You got a broken jaw. Like, fuck's sake. But good fighter. Robert Garcia, I know, hadn't seen me when he first started calling me out, and then was shown me by a boxing interviewer, and then his responses about me started changing, how he started speaking about me started changing. I noticed it because I was told when he was shown, and he was told the person that interviewed him that he hadn't seen me fight before. So yeah, I think that made me put a bit more distance, because anyone that knows boxing, yeah, knows one thing. No matter what you think about me, whether I can hit hard, whether I can do whatever, whether I'm in shape, out of shape, whatever, look at me, you know I'm hard to fight. The hardest probably to fight, the most awkward, unrelenting, unchanging style that there probably is in boxing right now. I don't need to come forward to win 12 rounds after 12 rounds after 12 rounds. I can let you beat yourself with where you're putting your body and not even hit you hard, just touch you up.
Fair enough. There seems to be a queue for you, Sonny. So I've been told that was my last question, but we could talk all day, man. But thank you so much for talking to Pro Boxing fans. I know that we speak to you on Fight Week, leading up to your fight in a couple of weeks, and yeah, thank you.
No, I appreciate it.